93 Boxing. I'm back with another video. Deontay Wilder might just be the most avoided fighter and the most feared man in boxing. And I said this something like this about Luis Ortiz, but I guess I'm wrong, man. I guess I was wrong. Luis Ortiz clearly is not the most avoided fighter because Deontay Wilder wanted him. And looks like he probably won't get him. But anyway, let me go into Deontay Wilder a little bit. Luis Ortiz, right, gets Deontay Wilder in the biggest stage of his career. So, Luis Ortiz's biggest fight is Deontay Wilder. And he misses his flight. Really? So this guy apparently misses his flight. Now, keep in mind, right? You're going to be fighting in your biggest stage of your career. This is what you've been dreaming of, right? You've been a boxer your entire life. This is your biggest opportunity you can get as a professional boxer to get a shot at the WBC world title. Especially against a guy who's a big puncher, because you can beat him. Hey, fuck it, you beat this undefeated puncher, you get the WBC belt as well. And you'll get a lot of recognition. But guess what he did? Instead of booking his flight at least a day before, which is what we should have done, right? Which, if we were in that position, you want to go in there a day before, maybe feel like the vibe, feel the groove a little bit, get into the groove, get into the mindset of you're going to face, a champion. And he didn't decide to do that. Instead, he decided to fuck around and pretend to miss his flight. That's what he's done. How do you miss your flight? You're from Cuba. You don't live that many hours away from the States. If you did it one day before, if you missed a flight, you pay a bit more. Fuck you can get another flight before the press conference started. I bet you he booked no flight, no hotels in the States. But back to my point, right? So Deontay Wilder, that's Luis Ortiz. He's scared, and he got caught with that drug shit. Povetkin, same shit. Let's talk about Anthony Joshua. Because Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder is the fight that we want to see in the heavyweight division. Let's be honest. Luis Ortiz is the fight we want to see, but Joshua Wilder is the fight we want to see. From the way Joshua speaks, it looks like he wants to avoid Wilder as much as possible. Eddie Hearn brought up Tony Bellew in front of Wilder. This is just to kind of get in the way between Joshua and Wilder. When he came to the UK, it was like as if this man doesn't exist for Anthony Joshua. Deontay Wilder is like as if he doesn't... It's like as if Deontay Wilder doesn't exist for Anthony Joshua. When people bring up what's next for Wilder, they don't bring up no... Sorry, when people bring up what's next for Joshua, they don't bring up no Wilder. They brought a Wilder versus Bellew, like as if that fight would even happen. If it does, that's like Eddie Hearn not giving a fuck. Just making some good cash from fucking Tony Bellew. Eddie Hearn has been avoiding... he's been doing a good job of avoiding fighters for certain of his fighters. Kell Brook is a great example. Eddie Hearn realizes that Anthony Joshua will give him the most amount of money compared to any other fighter. So what he's done is protect him, and Anthony Joshua can fight a decent fighter and make huge money in the UK. So why fight Wilder when you don't have to? You can just fight these like low level competition or competition that are good, but not a Deontay Wilder. The thing is, people are going to say, oh, Joshua faced Klitschko. But when Joshua speaks, there's he doesn't want to fight Wilder yet. Eddie Hearn, same thing. He don't want to give Joshua to Wilder. Why would you try to set up Wilder and Bellew when you know that everyone, including casuals, would rather see Wilder versus Joshua than Wilder versus Bellew? Oh, I know why. I'll tell you I know why. Here's the thing, right? Eddie Hearn... Notice Eddie Hearn doesn't mention Deontay Wilder for Anthony Joshua unless the interviewer brings it up. There's a good reason for this. Keep in mind, he only mentions it for Tony Bellew because, like, when Wilder speaks a lot, he mentions it for Tony Bellew. But for Joshua, never. I'll tell you why he does that. A lot of because keep in mind, this is Sky Sports. Eddie Hearn's, his fights are shown in Sky Sports. A lot of people that watch Sky Sports, a lot of them are casual fans. They are casual fans who watch football. They're real hardcore football fans who casually watch boxing and pay for boxing occasionally. That's who they are. That's who a lot of Sky Sports boxing customers are. If you don't mention Deontay Wilder, these guys will never know who Deontay Wilder is. Am I wrong? Like, it sounds crazy. I understand, because we are boxing heads. We know Deontay Wilder. We know Joshua. But some of these guys, I'm telling you, I'm from the UK. I know. Some of these guys do not know who Deontay Wilder is. They watch Sky, and Eddie Hearn never mentions Wilder, so how would they know? The whole Sky is not mentioning Wilder. When they mention Deontay Wilder, you have people like, what's his name? Johnny Nelson, talking like, oh, I've heard Wilder got dropped in sparring 2 or 3 times. Headshot and body shot. Which is like, where's your proof for that? That doesn't even sound real. And why would you even try to put this man down like that? Like, I don't understand. This can be one of the biggest fight in heavyweight boxing in a long time. They're all trying to pull Deontay Wilder down as soon as his name get mentioned. I mean, my voice is fucked up because I'm ill, but they're all trying to, like, I've noticed this. They never mention Deontay Wilder because they understand a lot of those people that paid tickets do not know too many boxers because they're casual fans. They're just hardcore football fans who casually watch it. You know the type, right? And if you're doubting this, you're outside the UK, then just believe me. I'm from the UK. I've noticed this. Box Nation fans are more, into boxing, I guess. But these Sky Sports people, man, trust me. And if you're from the UK and you're denying this, then trust me, you either haven't got a clue or you're a liar. That's why Eddie Hearn don't mention it. That's why Eddie Hearn doesn't mention Deontay Wilder's name, and only does for Tony Bellew. And when Wilder's name get mentioned, Johnny Nelson be like this and that. The whole Sky is set up to make Anthony Joshua look good and avoid Deontay Wilder for as long as possible. But I think the fight will eventually get made, because when Eddie Hearn feels like he's done enough to squeeze as much money out as possible before fighting Wilder, then it's time for him to fight Wilder. What else can you do? But yeah, fuck this, man. You already know what I'm trying to say, man. I don't want to repeat myself. It's already 8 minutes. This video shouldn't have been 8 minutes. 93 Boxing. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Comment down below. I'm out.